जाना है
क्या बात है? नहीं खत्म मतलब नहीं, मुझे और देना भी, मुझे और बताना है ना, मुझे और बताना है। फैसल कुरैशी ने अपने बिल्कुल एक मरहूम दोस्त की बीवी को हर जगह पर सपोर्ट किया है, हर तरीके से। हंस क्यों रहा है तू?
मुझे ये बता, उसने उसके मरने के बाद ही क्यों सपोर्ट करा?
तो मरने के बाद ही तो कोई आसरा बनता है ना।
समझ रहा हूँ मैं।
मरने के बाद ही तो कोई आसरा बनता है, मतलब सपोर्ट करने का कोई आसरा बनता है ना।
समझ गया मैं।
सो भाई लोग, कैसा लगा हमारा एपिसोड? अगर अच्छा लगा तो हमें ज़रूर बताइएगा और साथ साथ हमारे BTV चैनल्स को सब्सक्राइब करें, नीचे दिए हुए बेल आइकन को प्रेस करें, लाइक का बटन दबाएं, कमेंट्स करें।
और एक और चीज़, अगर आप हमसे कोई रिव्यूज़ करवाना चाहते हैं तो कमेंट बॉक्स में हमें ज़रूर बताइएगा, हम ज़रूर करेंगे। और अगर ना भी बताओगे ना तो भी करेंगे, हमारे बाप की मर्जी, हमारा चैनल है।
उस्ताद नुसरत फ़तेह अली खान 13
ब्रिटिश एयरवेज की पहली परवाज नहीं
कराची में रज़ाकाबाद पुलिस ट्रेनिंग सेंटर। पाक तर्जुमान बहरिया के मुताबिक चीफ ऑफ द नेवल स्टाफ अमेरिका के सदारती इंतखाबात
चीफ जस्टिस पाकिस्तान जस्टिस गुलजार अहमद की सरबराही में सिंध में गैर
खबर से खबरों तक पुरआज़म और मुस्बत BTV न्यूज।
सफर में मोहब्बतें फैला देंगे, जहाँ में दम है, दम का दम हम आस है, जोश है, सबको दिखा देंगे। ये घड़ियाँ है यही, आओ देखने, बदलेगी ज़मीन, चल पड़े जो ये कारवां। ये घड़ियाँ हैं यही, आओ देख ले, बदले ये ज़मीन, चल पड़े जो ये कारवां, झूले आसमां, झूले आसमां।
This news is brought to you by in association with
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। बीटीवी न्यूज के साथ मैं हूं मुख्तार अहमद। सबसे पहले एक नजर न्यूज हेडलाइंस पर। सिंध में कोरोना के वार कम होने पर आज से मज़ारात, दरगाहें, पार्क, इंडोर जिम और स्विमिंग पूल खोलने की इजाजत। महकमा दाखिला सिंध ने HOPs के साथ सरगर्मियां बहाल करने का इजाजतनामा जारी कर दिया। पीपल्स पार्टी चेयरमैन ने PTI की हुकूमत कठपुतली करार देते हुए वजीर आजम इमरान खान की किसी भी डिक्टेशन को रद्द कर दिया। कहा, कश्मीर के फैसले अब कठपुतली कर रहे हैं। कश्मीर का सफीर बनते बनते वो अब कलभूषण का वकील बन चुका। भारतीय जासूस को NRO देने के लिए हुकूमत ने ऑर्डिनेंस का सहारा लिया। बिलावल भुट्टो की वजीर आजम पर बराह रास्त तनकीद पर वफाकी वजीर फवाद चौधरी का जवाब। कहा, ना बिलावल का कोई सियासी कद काट है, ना ही मरियम नवाज का। एक जरदारी का बेटा और एक नवाज शरीफ की बेटी है, दोनों की इसके अलावा कोई सियासी CV नहीं। वज़ीर मुमलिकत बराए इत्तलात और नशरियात फर्रुख हबीब का बिलावल के बयान पर रद्द अमल। बिलावल जरदारी आसिफ अली जरदारी की करप्शन के वारिस करार। कश्मीरी अच्छी तरह जानते हैं कि इमरान खान ही उनका सफीर है। पीपल्स पार्टी वाले गिलगित में अपनी शिकस्त भूल गए, लेकिन अब कश्मीर इलेक्शन में भी शिकस्त इनकी मुंतजिर है। एहतिसाब सिर्फ नवाज शरीफ और हमजा का नहीं, सबका होगा। ब्यूरोक्रेसी को अवाम खिदमत यकीनी बनाना होगी। वजीर आजम के माविन खुसूसी शहबाज गिल की जानिब से वजीर आजम के विजन की तारीफें। कहा, इमरान खान गरीब के साथ खड़े हैं, पूरी कोशिश है बिजली की लोड शेडिंग खत्म हो जाए। हुकूमती वज़रा और मावनों के बयानात पर अपोजिशन रहनुमाओं के वार। मिफ्ता इस्माइल की कराची में न्यूज कॉन्फ्रेंस। कहा, बिजली बहुत लेकिन लोड शेडिंग पूरे मुल्क में। जून की गर्मी में गैस की किल्लत, पता नहीं दिसंबर की सर्दी में क्या हशर होगा। अपनी कोताही साबका हुकूमत पर डाल लीजिए, ये इनकी कामयाबियां हैं। होशाब के करीब शपक में दहशतगर्दों का हमला। सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस का वाटर बाउजर दहशतगर्दों की बुझाई गई बारूदी सुरंग से टकरा गया। FC जवान किफायतुल्लाह शहीद। वाकये के बाद इलाके में बड़े पैमाने पर सर्च ऑपरेशन का आगाज। पेशावर हयाताबाद इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया की फैक्ट्री में रात गए धमाका। सिक्योरिटी गार्ड समेत 3 अफराद जख्मी। बारूदी मवाद को फैक्ट्री से जुड़े पाइपलाइन में छुपाया गया था, पुलिस का दावा। जौहर टाउन बम धमाके का मास्टरमाइंड मुलजिम ईद गुल रावलपिंडी से गिरफ्तार। पुलिस ने रात गए लाहौर मुंतकिल कर दिया। गिरफ्तारी के बाद पहले से गिरफ्तार दूसरे मुलजिम पॉल डेविड ने दहशतगर्द की शनाख्त कर ली। जौहर टाउन धमाके की गिरफ्तार मुलजिमान की तादाद 4 हो गई। चीफ जस्टिस गुलजार अहमद और अदलिया के खिलाफ तकरीर। पीपल्स पार्टी रहनुमा मसूदुर रहमान के खिलाफ तौहीन अदालत केस की समाअत आज होगी। जस्टिस उमर अता बंदियाल की सरबराही में 4 रुकनी खुसूसी बेंच समाअत करेगा। चीफ जस्टिस ने 21 जून को तकरीर पर अज खुद नोटिस लिया था। वफाकी दारुल हुकूमत के सबसे बड़े सरकारी अस्पताल का कोई पुरसाने हाल नहीं। पेम्स अस्पताल में गरीब मरीजों के लिए टेस्ट करवाने की सहूलत खत्म। मशीन खराब होने के बाइस प्राइवेट लेबोरेटरी से महंगे टेस्ट करवाने पर मजबूर हैं। मुल्क भर में एक बार फिर लोड शेडिंग बढ़ने का खदशा। तर्जुमान वापडा के मुताबिक तरबेला डैम में पानी की सतह कम हो रही है। पानी की सतह कम होने से तरबेला में पन बिजली की पैदावार मुतासिर हो रही है। सूरत हाल बेहतर होने पर पन बिजली की पैदावार बढ़ जाएगी। कोयटा में ओपोजिशन और हुकूमत के दरमियान डेडलॉक। बलूचिस्तान में बजट इजलास के मौके पर हंगामा राई के बाद दर्ज FIR सूबाई हुकूमत के गले पड़ गई। मुकदमे में नामजद ओपोजिशन के अरकान असेंबली 8वें रोज भी गिरफ्तारी देने के लिए थाने में मौजूद। कौमी नेट बॉल चैंपियनशिप का इस्लामाबाद में आगाज हो गया। 20वीं नेशनल चैंपियनशिप में मुल्क भर से मर्दों की 13 और खवातीन की 11 टीमें शिरकत कर रही हैं। चैंपियनशिप 30 जून तक पाकिस्तान स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स इस्लामाबाद में जारी रहेगी। सेमीफाइनल्स 29 जून को और फाइनल 30 जून को खेले जाएंगे। और जासूस नताशा और टास्क मास्टर के मुकालमे पर मबनी वीडियो रिलीज कर दी गई। रूसी हसीना की जिंदगी पर मबनी फिल्म ब्लैक विडो 9 जुलाई को रिलीज की जाएगी। न्यूज स्टूडियो से फिल वक्त इतना ही। मजीद खबरों से बाखबर रहने के लिए विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.btn.tv। लाइक कीजिए हमारा फेसबुक पेज btv.pk। फॉलो करें हमें इंस्टाग्राम पर btv_pk। इसके अलावा सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारा यूट्यूब चैनल बदर टेलीविजन नेटवर्क।
Ahmed Medics Private Limited is Pakistan's largest ISO certified manufacturer of specialized and customized vehicles. We are also country's pioneer manufacturer of international standard ambulances, mobile healthcare clinics, firefighting and disaster response vehicles, and search and rescue vehicles. We are biggest company to offer fabrication of luxury and recreational vehicles, as well as mobile offices. For more information, contact us today.
And now we move on to our last panelist, Nihal Akbar Saab.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is at your area. I'll be briefing you on the proposed itinerary that you can take to come to Pakistan, and also within Pakistan in aviation, and also in the opportunities in aviation tourism of incredible Pakistan. Can you start the presentation, please? Next. These are the northern area's attractions, some attractions that we want to promote. Next, please. Now, from traveling from European destinations to Pakistan, basically the major airlines that fly are all Gulf and Middle Eastern airlines like Kuwait Airways, Emirates, Qatar, you name it, all the Middle Eastern airlines, and Turkish Airlines. British Airways also flies, but only to Islamabad, and they're going to start to Lahore. And in December, soon, Virgin Atlantic is also going to start. So basically, you have to take these airlines and come to the first destination, that would be Islamabad. Next. Here you can plan two kind of itineraries, coming to Islamabad and then going to the base camps of Gilgit, Chitral or Skardu by air, and the other one is going to Karachi or Lahore and returning from there. Next, please. Air travel for a single destination activity will involve travel to and from Islamabad only, because most of the areas are accessible by road, both from Islamabad and Peshawar. Weather for air travel is at times very severe, so an option for delay or alternate must be planned for these sectors. The tickets are available to book on PIA website, can be booked directly or through a tour operator. Next. The basic Islamabad airport serves these base stations: Gilgit, Skardu and Chitral. Only PIA flies. Next. A wide range of 3 airlines are operating within Pakistan, but due to specific flying conditions, only PIA has the right equipment and flies to 3 main base camps of Gilgit, Chitral, Skardu, and from Islamabad only. Islamabad also gives daily connections to South and Central Pakistani cities on 3 domestic airlines. Next, please. And for having a multi-destination activity, an itinerary involving more tourism activities can be planned by coming to Islamabad and returning back from Lahore or Karachi instead of going back to Islamabad, and vice versa. In north central Pakistan, the road network is of international standards. As such, can be a part of the plan. There is abundance of historical heritage sites from 3,000 years old archaeological remains of Gandhara period called Texila to 2,500 years old Indus Valley civilization in Mohenjo-daro, south of Pakistan. Plus, as Mr. Zaib mentioned, the beaches and of Balochistan. These itineraries will require surface transportation, and return from Karachi or Lahore is possible. These options are easily available as most of the international airlines fly to all major cities. Next, please. Now, the investment opportunities Pakistan presents in tourism-related destination and routes in aviation, basically. Next, please. Growing number in the middle class and improving economic conditions are making air travel affordable for a large population in Pakistan, which is increasing every day. There are over 25 operational airports in Pakistan, with civil aviation identified 12, more than 12 actually, in socio-economic categories. These are not served or underserved by major airlines, who focus largely on aircrafts and services to large cities. Growing population translates into growing number of passengers, plus improving economic conditions are increasing the number of passengers in Pakistan. This growth projected to be 9.9% in Pakistan versus a worldwide projection of 3.8%. The rate quoted above indicates growth in general aviation, but specific growth of tourism, like mentioned earlier by some of my colleagues, in Pakistan has increased substantially, and even by 300% is last year is a conservative figure. I think it may be more than that. A large number of airfields are not served despite their availability. Most of these airfields can serve the tourism industry. Civil aviation also allows private helipads and strips. We already have a private airport called Sialkot Airport, which offers great facilities for investors, like maintenance and repair workshops, or commercial flying, and business jets and all that. And tourism creates an opportunity to fly these smaller aircrafts, basically 15 to 20 seaters. 19 is the limit actually. And on these routes, these airplanes can also integrate with main airlines by code sharing or interlining or other arrangements, and become sort of a feeder hub and spoke network for these airlines. They can feed the larger airlines. Next, please. Now, what destinations have been identified? I have mentioned 12, but actually they are much more than that. They are socio-economic destination underserved as per civil aviation. Gwadar, Zob, Mohenjo-daro, Muzaffarabad, and so many more. But actually, it's much more. What they are doing, they're catering to the needs of the touristic destinations like Gilgit, Iskardu, Chitral, Kaghan, and so many more. Now, I have taken a few. If we combine these sectors, what you can see is that only 4 sectors are being served by national carrier. Islamabad, Gilgit, we have got 13 flights a week. So approximately 600 to 800 passengers are being catered, while the need is at least for 2,000. Islamabad, Chitral is only 1 flight a week. Islamabad, Skardu used to be 6, nowadays it's 3. Again, it's not fulfilling the required. And Karachi, Gwadar, that is the only 4 sectors. Rest you see are not being served, and I've given the potential passenger numbers, that estimated load which is available to be catered by these airlines. Next, please. Now, these areas have been in national aviation policy offers commuter service and operation special license for tourist airlines. It is called Tourism Promotion and Regional Integration (TPRI) license. Air Safari Services has created incentives and encouragements for small operators and tourist airlines by allowing landing at key tourist destinations. License will be issued to promote tourism, including religious and medical, and regional connectivity, including helicopter services. Operators to be encouraged to fly scheduled commuter services to socio-economic routes. A charter category 1 license or a TPRI, as I mentioned earlier, commuter operator can enter into code share and interline agreements between the airlines is permitted by the civil aviation, so that they can, like I mentioned earlier in the earlier slide, they can pick up passengers for the main route airlines, which of course is usually paying higher than the normal passengers. The small aircraft limit is 5,700 kg, requires a lower burden on licensing as well as acquisition and operating cost, and can be used on tertiary routes. Now go back, please. Can be used on tertiary routes with significant capacity utilization. TPRI license operators are encouraged by civil aviation issuing a 5-year license in a short period of 60 days, including waiver of fee for landing, housing, office space, or aeronautical services at the tertiary 13 plus socioeconomic airports. Additional tax incentives may also be available. Entering the market in this category has a shorter entry time as well as a lower cost with very good returns. I have worked on, next please, on a small working, which is basically for this 5,700 category. So the aircraft that fits in is, there may be many, but I have taken Twin Otter, Vikings Twin Otter, which is a 19-seater turboprop aircraft. Now, if we take it on RPT, which is regular public transport, that means that the investor has to buy at least 3 aircrafts, and that means that with leasing old aircrafts and setting up, it would take $22 million to $24 million, and with new aircrafts, it can go up to $30 million to $33 million. With the introduction of this TPRI license, the government has allowed 2 aircrafts that can be brought in, and working on the same aircraft. If you take it on lease or if you take it on old aircrafts, then the investment could go as low as 6 million for 2 aircrafts. And if you want to purchase brand new aircraft, again the working is on Viking Twin Otter aircrafts. The outright price would be 22 million, and the total cost of setting up the base, FBO, what we call it, is 23 million. Next, please. So, Sialkot Airport, like I mentioned earlier, is one example where all these activities have been allowed in private, and similar FBOs, the fixed base operators, can be established in other parts of the northern areas or anywhere that the investor so desires. Any assistance, anything we can do will be of great appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nihal Sahab. Let me take this opportunity to mention to the House that taking advantage of this government policy, there is a new airline which is going to come up, inshallah, before the next season starts, around springtime, which it will be operating for the northern areas, which includes Chitral, Skardu, Gilgit, and Sadhu Sharif. So people are taking advantage of this liberal policy. So this is just the beginning. So thank you very much, Nihal Sahab. And now we move on for our very quick Q&A session. We have a lot of questions which are being forwarded to our control room, but we will take only few because of the shortage of time. The first question, is there any thought about adventure tourism in the southern parts of Pakistan? Yes, anybody can answer. Uh, uh, I think Khwaja Saab, if you would like to
Okay,
share.
can I just answer briefly, and then Khaja Saab can take from me. But before I answer this question, sir, I just would like to highlight that we are the government is also working on feasibility, and half of it's completed. Is Gilgit Shandur Chitral Chakdara highway also? So that's around 5 year project starting from, if I say, from now, and if that's completed, it would be like a paradise for adventure tourism. Really coming up as an alternative route to CPEC KKH. For tourism, this is going. With respect to southern adventure tourism, as I said, in CPEC there was a proposal for 1+5, one being the highway and five being adventurous sites in southern along the coast, and of course in Balochistan, where there are terrains and mountainous regions which can attract a lot of the highway structure on the western corridor from Gawadar till DI Khan is near completion. Most of it is completed except till Zob. But there also they have an highway, and also M8 which connects the coastal highway. So I think infrastructure wise, being government's representative, I would say a lot of efforts are being made to attract tourism, and also the government of Balochistan is working extensively. Just yesterday, the CM was on a visit of looking at tourism sites where they can attract adventure tourism.
So if I may just
Thank you.
contribute to that very quickly. Yeah, with your permission. So on the southern tourism, let's be very specific. Southern tourism already exists. As you have seen that, not only Fort Monroe, Tabletop, Gawada Coast, there is a lot happening in Pakistan already. So I again would like to stress that some of this tourism in the south actually is quite services led, and it is very much on the scale, including the lower and upper Kirthar, the area separating Sindh and Balochistan. A lot of tourism, especially, again, sites I don't want to mention, people who are interested in this. All this is happening. And I would really like to stress that we need to first explore services, areas, and demand. Minus Chishti Saiba, nobody actually stressed on how to develop demand of what people need. So I think let's focus on that. And yes, southern tourism very much exists. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to mention, because this is very, very important, we all forget the South Punjab, and that is the Bawalpur. The Bawalpur is so rich in the historical, the palaces, and we already have the safaris, the regulars run by the Punjab Tourism Development Corporation. And we have a lot of tourists in the past year to come and celebrate this Channan Peer festivals. They come on the camels, and we have a lot of adventure tourism in South Punjab, in Bawalpur, Multan area. And then again, we have in the south that call Mithi, Nagar Parker. They all, Thar desert is also full of adventure. They're full of adventure, and they already start the Sindh tourism, also the safari in that area also. So this south area of Pakistan is the product of winter. We all doing this time the South Punjab and South in South we are mentioning the Sindh, and we are promoting the Gwadar. I am mentioning again, please don't forget the Gwadar importance. The Gwadar, I want to mention, when you like to drive from Karachi to Gwadar, you never find this kind of unique mountain in the world. When I travel with my foreign friends and foreign tour operators, they were surprised because of the unique mountain. They have a 1,000-year history. They have a storm of the Bajri that call the mud. They will carving the mountain. That just like a statue. So if you travel from Karachi to Amara, this is a 5-hour drive, and then 5 hours drive after the Amara, you will travel to Gwadar. I request my all colleagues and all my friends, please, whenever you have a time, to visit from Karachi to Gwadar by road, and just see the surprising mountain in of the world, and you will see the excellent Arabian Sea, the coastline, Makran coastline, unbelievable. And then I also want to mention very, very important thing. When you go to Gwadar, don't forget to visit Jivani. Jiwani, you will find the hut. Its name is Victoria Hut. And the history of the Victoria Hut is that Queen Victoria have a very small runway and they will landed the aircraft there and she will enjoy the sunset of the Jiwani from that hut. This hut is controlled by the army. They will specially open for the request. But whenever you go there, visit to Gwadar, please don't forget to visit Jiwani and see the regional best sunset in the area. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, and not to forget the coral reef islands and snorkeling and scuba diving, which is being offered along the coastline.
I agree with you.
So actually, once we say that Pakistan is all season and all year round tourist paradise, the winters can be celebrated along with the hiking, skiing in the north. Towards the various activities in the south as well. Next question, please. Okay, the next question is, what attention has been paid to develop tourism in Balochistan? I think Mr. Hassan Dawood has already mentioned that government of Balochistan is very seriously pursuing and taking the advantage of the CPEC Western route. They are into developing. Yes, it has been a neglected area, but now they are in line, and hopefully it will be taken care of. Next question, please.
Can I mention this answer to this question about the Balochistan?
Sir, please go ahead, sir. If you like to add.
Actually, we are very surprised. Actually, we like to promote we love our mountain, but we have to be not work so much on our sea. You know how many countries have the ocean? We never work on the ocean. And my visit 2-3 times to the Gwadar, and I was surprised. What a unique place we are missing. We all have the attention to the north. Okay, north is also important, and we love our north also. But I will request to my all government, central government, to please work on the coastline of Balochistan, especially Gwadar. And Gwadar, when the last week I was in Gwadar, I was surprised to see the development, what is happening there. And I want all my colleagues, whenever they have a time, please visit and see what is happening in the Gwadar.
Sir, you are right. No country probably would be fortunate to have about 1,300 kilometer long coastline starting from the creeks area to Jiwani, and we have tremendous potential. This is virtually our fifth province, and I am glad that our present government is making an effort to focus on the maritime economy as well. Next question, please. Yes, a very pertinent question. How to prepare Pakistan for sustainable and eco-friendly tourism, and to avoid it turning into the the word that they have used. Probably I should not repeat that. Trash. Okay. I think I would take the lead to answer this question. We need to bring everybody on board. We need to educate people. We need to make the indigenous communities realize that without their participation, without their ownership, no governmental or outsider effort can yield any results. And these areas are a destination or a heaven for the tourists because of their ecology. So if we do not maintain or rather try to enhance the ecology of the areas, the habitat of flora and fauna without disturbing them, I think we cannot sustain. In that regard, we have already put forward our recommendation to the government that we, in all areas, as it is being done now in KP, that the zoning has to be done. We have to identify the tourist destinations, the economic zones, so that the activities they are very focused and very planned activities for creating a phased infrastructure. And then the building regulations, they have to be very strictly adhered to. and we need a lot of formal education. While there are some institutions, I can just briefly mention, like Air University Islamabad has opened tourism department where they're offering undergrad courses for the time being. They have started aviation management and hospitality. Then again, we have Hashu School of Hospitality coming up. So there are efforts being made where all segments of the workforce, because we have to work to develop skills of the people who have to ensure in their respective areas that we maintain an eco-friendly environment and services. Do we have a time for another question, or we can
Malik
wind up,
Saab,
please?
Mr. Malik, if I may add a little bit to
Sir,
this
please.
question. Yeah.
Sir.
You have very nicely put it that and informed us about all that's available and the efforts that's being done. But to answer this question, I believe that the climate activists in Pakistan are extremely active, and they all have access to social media. And I think that is one of the tools